How to hold your trades overnight in forex. So imagine you are intraday trader who usually closes your trades by midnight, but today you are having a really good trade and your take profit, you see that it will be hit maybe tomorrow or maybe even later. And you are afraid of leaving your trade overnight because you just don't know what's going to happen during rollover, because nobody quite knows what's going on in there, right? So I did think about this myself a lot. I did a lot of research on this, and I have created a special strategy for how to hold my own trades overnight. So I'll talk about all of this in this video today. So obviously in Forex, it's very dangerous to leave your trade running during rollover time, which is between 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. in broker's time zone. So why is it so dangerous to leave your trades running during this time? I have tracked spreads on a few different brokers, on a few different pairs during rollover, and what I saw is that spreads go from 12 pips to 30 pips during rollover time. On minor pairs, usually it goes to 30 pips. On major pairs, it can be around 12 pips. And, well, I mean, usually you're having like spreads which are close to zero, and during rollover, they are completely out of sync. I mean, if you're intraday trader, you might be having your take profits at like in the 30 pips or 50 pips range, and you know, it just completely, these kind of spreads, they just completely ruin your profitability. The other problem is that during rollover, you can expect wild moves like up and down, up and down. And this is just another trick used by the brokers just to stop out retail traders. And they use this time for their favor and at your disadvantage. And of course, you can expect even price gaps. Usually they happen over the weekend, but it can happen on a weekday as well. You can have like 20 pip, 30 pip, 50 pip, even 100 pip gap, and it means that neither your stop loss nor take profit might be filled during this price gap. So this is particularly dangerous. So basically, knowing all of those risks, we have to think in black swan mentality. I mean, the upside, it takes care of by itself. But if we don't think about the downside, an unexpected gap, for example, of 100 pips, which can severely damage your account and which might happen just once in 5 years, but when it will happen, it will be very, very uncomfortable for you, and you will blame yourself and you will think, why didn't I prepare for this in advance? So knowing all of these risks naturally asks us a question. So what kind of solution can we make for this problem? And first of all, we need to look at research data. So in this table, you can see my research data on EURUSD of 3 years, and it shows the price differences between certain times. So my idea was that maybe there is not such a big price difference between like the beginning of rollover and the end of rollover, or slightly before rollover start and slightly after rollover end. My idea was that maybe there is no such a big price difference because, well, it's night, it's where the markets are quiet. And my assumption was proved by this data. I found my sweet spot, which is like from 10:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. The price difference is 5.5 pips, so that's very small difference. And if you want to be a bit more precise, you can go for 10:45 p.m. and 1:15 a.m., which is 4.79 pips difference. So basically, the more you narrow down the time difference, the more the price difference also narrows down. And what do I mean by this research data? So let's go to solution now. So what I usually do is I exit my trade at 10:30 p.m. and I re-enter at 1:30 a.m. You can do the same, or you can choose another time window. Just do what works for you, depending on where you are, what's your time zone, what's your schedule. Do what's comfortable for you and do it in the same way every time. Just define it as a strategy that always you'll exit at this time and you will re-enter at this time. And define the maximum price difference, how much the price can go against you for you to still re-enter into the market. And if that difference is larger, then simply use a limit order with a timed expiry. And you just set it and that's it. It will either be filled or not. This, of course, can be automated, and I did create an expert advisor for myself because my time zone is the same as broker's time zone. I live in Europe, so at 10:30 p.m. I can close the trade manually, but I don't want to be waking up at night at 1:30 a.m. to be re-entering into my trade. So I did an EA for this, which checks, if my take profit wasn't hit yet during rollover. If it wasn't, then it either makes a market order or it creates a limit order if price difference is more than what I have defined for myself. Because the idea of this strategy that your re-entry should be as close to your exit price, and then it's acting in the way that it's like a continuation of your trade, and then you maintain your profitability without the huge risks of being stopped out during rollover. You can use this strategy mainly for short trades because that's the invisible asking price that is the most dangerous for you if you are in a short trade and spreads go to 12 or even 30 pips. But it can be useful for longs as well because, as I mentioned, sometimes you can go into a gap and you might even wipe out your account depending on what risk you are using. But if you're trading on the professional side of the market, I haven't really seen yet, that the gap would be targeted against professional traders. It's always against retail traders. It's always retail traders who carry the loss. If you're on the correct side of the market, then you don't really need to care that much about long trades, which are left overnight, minimal gap risk. And when it comes to spread risk, your take profit might be affected by this, but that's also a minimal risk. So that was my strategy for holding your trades overnight safely. To put it short, close your trades 10:30 p.m., reopen at 1:30 a.m., broker's time zone, and that's all. Basically, it sounds easy. It took a bit of time to come to this strategy, a few years maybe. So thanks for watching, and if you're looking for a trading mentor or capital manager, feel free to visit my blog, find my training and mentoring offer. If you feel ready to quit your job and finally become a professional trader you've always dreamed of, so that's your opportunity. I've been there, I've done that, and I can show you the way as well. I work one-on-one, and I truly care about your success, and I'm not hiding anywhere. My training is live during live market conditions with nowhere to hide for me in a physical meeting or via online screen share call. Almost nobody on planet Earth does that, and I believe my education offer is the best, the number one on the planet currently available. And remember, trading is not freedom until you can perform without luck. So thanks again for watching, and I wish you a beautiful day.